Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys another custom origin that I made, and as always this mystical origin. And so today's origin is going to be the Poseidon origin, and as you can see it's a high impact origin. Almost all of the origins that are in the mystical origins series is going to be a high impact one because it's based on myths and legends, so I feel like it'll have a high um, so yeah, let's just select this real quick. And as you can see, yeah, I get stacking, slowness, and weakness. And you can see I get a trident. It's the Trident of Atlantis, and it has loyalty 5, channeling, sharpness 10, along with curse of vanishing. Um, so I'll explain what this trident does in a minute. And yeah, so let's move on to the first ability. Poseidon's Well. So basically, what this ability does is um, if you press your attack key while, like, even when you have an empty hand, if you press your attack key while crouching, um, you'll actually throw a trident. And this trident can be picked up. It's an entity trident like the drowned ones. So yeah. So if I stand like a bit far away, you don't need to hold a trident in your hand. I'm just trying to avoid slowness and weakness. So yeah, that's your first ability. So it was meant to be a channeling trident, but I couldn't find out a way to make it one. So yeah. Plus you get the Trident of Atlantis. That's why you get that. I made it so that you get this because I couldn't make it so that you could channel lightning. So yeah. Moving on to the next ability, Poseidon's Trident. Upon being a god of the seas, you receive the Trident of Atlantis when you spawn into the world, which you only get once. So yeah, that's basically what this trident is. You only get it once, and it has curse of vanishing. So you can't die with it, and you can't just, like, you have to be very careful on how you use this trident. It's the only one of its kind. It has sharpness 10 on it. It's stronger than another axe with sharpness 5. So yeah. Plus it has loyalty 5, which makes it so that the moment you throw it, it comes back to you basically. So those two didn't come back to me because I'm in creative mode. Because it generates multiple as much as I want by not using the item. So yeah. So this is the only trident that you're gonna get, so be very protective of it. As soon as you spawn into the world, get a log, get a crafting table, make a chest, put this in there, and make sure to not die. Like, don't carry this on your inventory unnecessarily. Like, if you're going mining, put it in your ender chest. If you're doing something, just do anything except keep this in your inventory unless you extremely need it. Like, unless you're going to war or something, this trident is extremely valuable. Right. You can also get one if you re-choose the origin, like if you make an orb of origin and then choose the origin again. But that seems like a lot of hassle for just a trident. So just protect the one you already have. Your body is adjusted for living in the sea. So yeah, I feel like this is a pretty basic ability for Poseidon to have because I mean you are the god of the sea. So as you can see, I'm swimming extremely fast. I'm swimming 5 times faster than a normal player would. Yeah, and I get conduit power 3. So yeah. And I get conduit power 3. So it's like you can mine faster. As you can see, my hand is just moving at the speed of light. So yeah. I'll just set the weather to clear. So Stormtrap. Basically, what this does is this is your primary ability. When you press your primary key, let me in the ground real quick and go. I'll just go to game mode survival to show you guys. So if I press my primary key, you can see the lightning strikes and then a storm starts. So this is what this ability does. If you're getting like bombarded with mobs, for example, this can be a really useful ability because you do have to get close to them, plus it damages you a bit. But then again, the lightning is strong enough to kill almost any mob, and I've tested it a couple of times, and unless you're extremely unlucky, you will survive most of the time. If you have full hearts, you're almost guaranteed to survive. Sometimes you may just stay in the fire for too long. So, yeah. Other than that, you will survive. Okay? And yeah. Moving on to the next ability. It's Ocean's Calling. So basically what this ability does is if you're in water and you press your primary secondary key, like if you're in water, for example, and you press the secondary key, it'll summon a small army of axolotls. There'll be only 4 axolotls, but axolotls can be a menace if you give them enough time to regen and all that. So yeah. Plus, this is a very easy way to obtain a good pet because axolotls are a bit hard to find. Like in 1.17. I think it'll be easier in 1.18 because cave generation and water caves and all that. But yeah. So this will basically help you out of sticky situations in the ocean. And moving on to the next ability, we have God of Horses. Poseidon is also known as the god of horses, storms, and earthquakes, as well as seas. So if you press your secondary key while on land, like you can summon axolotls on land, because I didn't want that to happen. You can only do it while you're submerged in water. So if you press your secondary key on land, it'll summon a horse. This horse basically isn't meant to be the best horse. It's basically a random horse. You can get a lot of health out of it, I think. And like it'll have a random speed, random health, and all that. And it has a 5-minute cooldown. The axolotl one has like 1 minute, I think. So yeah. It's basic, and it will come with a saddle all the time so that you can ride it. So yeah. Moving on to the next ability, which is Away from Home. That is what the slowness and weakness was. When you're not holding a trident and you're not in the water, you gain weakness and slowness. And there's stacking effects too. So they can last for an average of 5 minutes if you stay out of the water too long. But when you hold a trident, it doesn't instantly like remove the effects. It will just make the stacking go down. So yeah. Moving on to the next ability, which is Something in the Dark. So basically this ability I'm not going to be showing you guys right now because it's a chance ability. Basically every 15 or 10 seconds there's a chance that multiple guardians will spawn, and there's a 5% chance of an elder guardian spawn around you. So this is basically because the oceans in Minecraft are way too safe, at least in my opinion. That's what makes the Merlin extremely overpowered. Like late game, the Merlin is very overpowered, and early game, it's really useful because no mobs in the oceans actually are dangerous. Because like guardians only spawn in ocean monuments, and drowned are just water zombies. Not the hardest thing to deal with. So yeah. So I added this, so every 10 seconds there's a chance of 10 guardians spawn. As you can see, that's just one right there. But oh, nope. And the axolotls are basically there to help you deal with them. There you go. So another thing I forgot to mention about the swimming speed ability. Oh, I got regeneration from axolotls. And so another thing about the speed ability is sometimes you can swim extremely fast, but you can just jump one block. Like if there was a block right here, I could swim from here and then just like do a dolphin dive. As you saw, I jumped like 3 blocks, and you can also jump like 1 block above, which is really good. Like, I mean, like that's not an intended feature, but like it's a nice feature to have, I think. Wait a second. You do have to be swimming, so you can't just be water walking. As you see, I'm jumping 1 block above water. This is because of the velocity of the swimming speed. So while you're in water, you can basically jump 1 block. That was not an intended feature, but it's a real cool feature. So yeah, moving on to the next ability. I'm sorry I have to go to the GUI to watch the abilities again and again. It's just, it's a long origin. I'm clueless. Okay, so basically what this means is you were brought up in the ocean. So using furnaces, blast furnaces, and smokers are not the most common thing. You can also use campfires. I'll just say that now because I forgot to put a campfire here. So I'm right clicking on the furnace, blast furnace, but nothing's happening. This is the fact that makes this origin extremely high impactful. Like, think of how many things in Minecraft you need furnaces for. Iron, gold, like there's more than 100 things that you need furnaces for. I mean, if you're playing in a multiplayer setup, then I guess this won't be much of a downside because you can just ask your friend to do it for you. But if you're playing in single player, the only way for you to get iron is to find loot chest. You had to go find villages or something, a dungeon maybe. But other than that, there's literally no way to get iron and gold by mining. Which is what makes this origin, this is probably the biggest downside of this origin. So yeah, this was made out of the fact that even though you can use furnaces in Minecraft underwater, I don't think it makes sense that fire in anything can exist underwater because, I mean, first of all, it's water, and even if you do find a way to contain the water without going into the furnace, there's no oxygen, at least no gaseous oxygen. So there's literally no way for you to have a fire underwater. I'm just gonna die. It's the easiest way to please. Okay, yeah. Moving on to the next ability, we have the Honored Warrior ability, and this is the final downside as well as the final ability. And basically, you can't use shields and you can't use axes. So if I hit this horse with this axe real quick, you can see I'm not doing no damage. It's not because I have weakness. Another axe does 10 damage, and weakness 1 only reduce every level of weakness only reduces 4 damage from your attack. So, and this is weakness 1. So I should be doing 6 damage, which is 3 hearts, but this horse isn't taking any damage. So yeah, and I'm right clicking on the shield right now. As you can see, it's not showing no animation, and it's not working basically. So this is because the Trident is a traditional weapon of the Atlanteans. I think it makes sense that you can't use shields and axes, because axes sound like the type of weapon if you're going into brute force combat, where you're just trying to hit your enemy with as hard as you can. But like I'd imagine tridents being a weapon that is like you had to be more careful with tridents. Like, you can't just randomly throw tridents. That's not how it works. So yeah. Plus so the reason I left swords in was because like um I mean it's kind of not a brute force weapon because you have to be careful with the sword. Like yeah. But other than that, the real reason I didn't put swords included into this is because like what are you gonna fight with early game? I mean sure you could use the Trident of Atlantis, but like if you lose this, there's literally no way for you to do any damage until you get a trident. And you can't even get a trident. You can't kill a drowned without doing any damage. So yeah, I had to leave the swords. So yeah, that's it for this origin. Leave your suggestions down in the comments below on what I should do with this origin, what you want me to do next. I'm kind of thinking of maybe something like another Greek god or something. There was another YouTuber that actually made a video about Poseidon or a Poseidon origin, and his one was really cool and all that. But I assure you, I didn't just take his idea. I actually thought of this idea before him because I mentioned it in my Warlock origin video that I was going to do a Poseidon origin, and his video came out after my video. But no hate, with all due respect, his origin was pretty cool, and you guys should definitely go watch it. And yeah, like, subscribe, and comment. Bye.